Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I want to say a special welcome to Mauricio. Hello. To him above all, everyone else, you guys, whatever. Welcome to Maple Syrup History, episode number 235. Number one of Catholicism and Disasters. As was already mentioned by Betsy Johnson, I have to go downstairs to Monica's to get my coffee. So I will leave the stream just kind of running as people hopefully file in. What we're going to do today is go over the syllabus and a little brief note on September 11th. We're going to cover that later on in the semester in specificity with a lot of focus, but today we're just going to kind of graze over it. And I'll stop talking for now because, like I said, there's, especially for you, for your poor ears, I don't want to be unnecessarily repetitive and just say the same stuff in like 90 seconds. So I'm going to go grab my coffee. The stuff on the board is not my doing. I think Mauricio did it actually. So I think it's his Paul or Deacon Dennis. I think Deacon Dennis was doodling on the board, but
it would be like him.
Yeah, probably. So when I come back, for real, guys, awesome to have you guys here. Really, it's fantastic. Welcome. When I come back, I will be going over the syllabus, a brief thing on 9/11, just kind of laying out the format of the course. I have one new thing that if you saw in the welcome video, I don't know if you did, but Eric Meyer is going to post that all over kind of the Vandal Catholic social media space. We have a new feature, so I'll mention that when I get back. So hang tight. I think I said it to me, but I didn't. I'm sorry.
You didn't send it to me either.
I didn't. Okay. Yeah.
But you didn't welcome us.
I have an outdated email chain, but when the Maple Syrup Institute is handling is online to go there. So I'll be right back.
He's only welcoming. I'm sorry for saying every man's name. I did it. Thomas sometimes call Mauricio. Mauricio. So Mauricio's the only one who got the welcome video. I say right.
But they had an earthquake yesterday as well as the hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
And so their chapel had one of the bells got knocked loose in the bell tower and a bunch of little bits of crumbling were happening in the facade. So you can see the problem.
Yeah.
Shut the chapel. Once the sirens get started. Approve it.
Yeah.
Is that the same one? The one that's not. And I told you the wrong direction, sorry.
Oh, then you can't see through this.
You got your choice. You can sit here or you can sit up there.
Or you can also take it to your memories. Hi, Meg. Hi, Carrie. Nice to see you. So before I started at Thomas Aquinas College, and yesterday they had both the hurricane and an earthquake.
When do you go back to school?
Tuesday.
It's temporarily.
Well, a week from today, and then classes start the week.
California. Oh, yeah, the hurricane. Yeah, that's probably so. Is it a hurricane? I don't know, it's probably just a solar event, not storm, but it's killer.
Yeah, my brother was here, and he had to go back because they start Monday over there
The first
Oh,
day.
yeah,
on the seminary.
he's a professor.
He's on the track for him.
So is he on Benedict or is he?
Make the motion, that's the best out of your situation.
I finally saw the two of you in the room together. At first I was like, it's just
Yeah.
Here's probably.
All right, Meg Clark, we have a nice attendance today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 21 people, I think, right? They don't. Mary, hello, Gratian. So nice. We just met on the stairs going up.
Yeah.
Mary, it's lovely to have you in class. Please tell everyone. I mean, everyone, like Deacon Dennis, I want you on a literal soapbox in Friendship Square, bullhorn style, until the New St. Andrews people arrest you. I don't know, like drive you out of town. We're telling people come to this class. Everyone is invited. It's going to be Monday and Wednesday all year long. I think the one exception is the week of September 4th. No, ma'am. Thanksgiving we were off. In fact, the syllabus, I think it's posted online. Thanks to Meg Clark, who's, I mean, I'm not even kidding, like absolutely extraordinaire, everything posted online. Thanksgiving holiday, we're off. We follow Father had a very good idea about that, and that's kind of always my policy. We follow just the U of I schedule. So if the students are not in, the class is for everyone. Is anyone here a current U of I student? I know Ryan Alexander, law school. Mauricio, are you U of I student?
Yep.
Okay, so but the vast majority of the class is not U of I students. It's open to everyone, but we will follow the kind of school calendar for obvious reasons. So Thanksgiving is off. The one exception is the week of September 4th is Labor Day, and therefore I believe school is off that day. So I'll just make a video, but it's kind of a boring topic. Yeah, God bless you. God bless you for 9 more in advance. I sneezed 14 times in a row the other day in the car. It was awesome. Betsy, wait, this is a very important story I want to tell you. I was driving across Pullman to Safeway. I sneezed 14 times in a row, and it felt amazing. But there's a point where it's like I should probably pull over to the side of the road because it was getting,
Because you can't see.
you can't see, but I was blissed though. It was like blinded by the bliss of 14 sneezes. God bless you though, Marie. Betsy, your question now. You may ask your question. Go for it.
Okay, so we're off on Labor Day, is that what you were saying?
So what I'm gonna do on that day is, and this is if anyone, Mary, if you would not mind later, if you want me to send you like the syllabus, just email me at intellect@vandalcatholic.com and I'll put you on the list and all that. I will, after we do this episode today, I will send you once more the YouTube channel where all this stuff is there. We record this for anyone who, like the Astons often were on Zoom. And I always record these videos and attach them online. That's what that day will be. So on Labor Day, I will, to not fall behind, the topic is 17th century famines. I will make a video just kind of in my basement or whatever and attach it online. And therefore, when we return on September 6th, I believe, Wednesday, Labor Day would have just simply been a video at distance. So the one, I'd say probably no. I'd say don't, just enjoy your Labor Day, because I don't know if I'll do it at this exact same time. I think actually, does anyone know the Crestlands, Sam and Cecily?
Yeah.
We're gonna go visit them. I think my family's gonna go visit them in Montana on Labor Day.
I thought they were done south already.
No, so they're out in Montana for a while, and then Sam is gonna be assigned for posted in Georgia. Sam and Cecily, if you're watching online, along with the 1,000 people watching now, amazing. 100,000. I missed a couple zeros, including Pope Francis. Pontificus is just signed on. He comes late always, but he's Argentinian, so but Sam and Cecily, we're gonna be with them. And I don't know when, maybe I'll record a video with them. That'd be pretty cool, actually. Have guests, have like featuring like in the rap song, it's like featuring Betsy Johnson, like featuring Sam and Cecily Crestlands. It would just be attached.
How big was the baby?
She's beautiful. I don't know. How big?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Early and small.
No, so I thought like no. Yeah. No. So yeah. We're very privileged to be, Kate and I, my wife, are godparents for Gianna, the baby. She looks just like a normal baby to me. She's like a beautiful little girl, but I don't know how big babies are supposed to be. She looks normal size. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't, like, of course, like, right, when a mom delivers early or late, I don't know anything about that. I just know seeing her at the baptism, she looked great. But whether she's bigger, she's not enormous. She's not like baby's tiny size. She's like normal baby. Yeah, sure. Sure. No, that's fair enough. So anyways, okay, no, these are all good questions. So please note, again, the syllabus, once more, I promise I'm not trying to be sycophantic, although if there's anyone to be sycophantic towards and a huge fan of it is Meg Clark. Thanks to her, the syllabus was posted online. You can just go there. All the information for everything I do with Intellect is there. It's a good thing to kind of note as well. Like, we have a lot of events coming up soon. Father Chase and I do the Spirit and Life Catechetical program. I have a Hippo lecture each month. We have an Ask Me Anything, I believe, on September 13th. All that's on the calendar and in the Intellect tab on vandalcatholic.com, along with the syllabus. So today I want to go over the syllabus point by point. I want to actually do a first kind of taste of what we'll be doing in this class and announce the new wrinkle or the new feature to maple syrup history, which would be a power system of rankings. So starting next class, I'm going to have a sheet passed out, kind of like an attendance sheet. So we'd have Ryan, Maurizio, all the way down, everyone's name listed, all that. And I'm going to be assigning points live as we go. The exception today is it's not what, but you start off at a deficit of 100 points. And the official reason is unspecified reasons, / classified. But no, so yeah, well, it's gonna be really fun. Like, really, without being cheesy and stupid, although maybe it is, but it's like kind of game show, whatever, right? And I guess the reason is, it's fun for me too. It's be fun to like Ryan Alexander's. He hasn't stopped being dead last the whole semester. Wow, he's awful. I'll just like follow Ryan Alexander's like 0-12. He's a football team. That guy will know who's doing good, who's doing bad. Ryan Alexander, of course, will probably be first. Everyone knows that. And if anyone needs to know how good Ryan Alexander is, just ask him. He'll tell you. But actually, complete the total opposite. This guy, I need to get to the information here, but this guy is one of the most humble, awesome guys. So that's not true at all. It's just a lie. Like I'm starting class with lies. I just went to confession 2 days ago. It's bad. Mary, you have a question? Go.
Well, I'm good at this. I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
Okay. Like everything or what? Right. Good. No.
First, so there's nothing really happening on class now.
Yes. In fact, you know what I'll do? Today, as a present, I will give you. No, I will, Mary. I will give you a hard copy of the syllabus when I'm done. It's like when you go to a concert and the guy gives you like his guitar or something. Like I'm just going to give you an official syllabus.
Class is.
The name of the class is Catholicism and Disasters.
Okay.
So and now, yeah. So now I'm going to go over. Actually, it's a perfect segue. It's a perfectly appropriate question you asked. I'm going to go over everything you should expect. Because it's class 1, today's the first day. Like everyone is perfectly on time. Nothing has been covered yet. This is the 9th class I've done now, going back to 2019. And in my normal classes for U of I, WSU, as a college professor, of course, we have grades, we have assignments. That is the one feature that you won't find here. There's no grades, there's no assignments. I sometimes have a final exam or like, sorry. So that's what I mean. The wrinkle will be we'll have this fun point system, and of course, it is totally for its own sake. I may, at the end of the year, give out some kind of award or something, but it's that's the one difference is that it's not for credit.
Well, new state Andrews might accept.
New standards? Why would they?
Well, I don't know. It's gonna be burdened, like Catholicism, but they might accept your credit from this class.
Just ask them. Yeah.
Just have
But you have to become Protestant first.
which is a very big one.
What if you are Mormon?
And you can't go to NSA, I think.
No, I'm just asking a general life question. Like, what if you're a Mormon?
You
What do you do at that point? I'm asking like just a philosophical question. Like,
At one point.
you wake up and you find out I'm Mormon. Like, what if?
go. No.
What then?
You rushed down to the Catholic church and give me else.
Okay, there you go. So Mary, I will. I'm gonna go over the syllabus now, and I'm not even kidding. I will give you this.
Okay.
This is online. You can have a hard copy. You can keep it. I'm serious. Like all jokes aside, like this will list from today, week of August 21st, all the way down to December 4th, everything we're doing. Yeah, but I mean, you're also welcome just to have this and hold on to it.
At the risk of negative points, the last class I took from you, I asked you undertake for a hard copy of the syllabus.
Oh man,
Still has to arrive.
I know.
I think that should be a positive point.
Yeah, I award you 3 points in advance because you're right. You're right. It has been very tardy on my part. So guys, okay, without further ado, the class is called now. And by the way, like what to expect, there'll always be like lots of nonsense and diversions, but then we get down to business. So now getting down to business. Catholicism and Disasters, St. Augustine's Vandal Catholic, here's everything we're covering, okay? And by the way, every class of this topic I will go over now, the format will be very similar, excepting today, starting next week. I'm going to talk about what happened with blank and what the Catholic response to it was. I think that sounds fair enough, right? Catholicism and disaster. So it's every class is a disaster. Some are 2 parts. But we're just talking about what actually happened. And we start with like a very 0 level informative piece. Imagine Deacon Dennis, although I'm sure you know a lot about it, you've never heard of the Black Plague. Okay, so you can come into the class and we'll talk about every detail of what that was and simply what did Catholics do about it. some things like the Antioch earthquake of 526 and 36, these two, 526, excuse me, and then the worst year to be alive 10 years later, a lot of the sources are more kind of top down. You know, what did the episcopacy say? Well, what did the Pope say, perhaps, maybe? But as you get closer to modernity, we'll have more kind of lay takes, just it's a very simple format. It's a very kind of rinse and repeat format. Every class, we have a disaster. We talk about what happened and what did Catholics do about it. And I made a little quip in the bulletin blurb article. I said, as we sit around and wait for World War III or whatever, we should probably find out what Catholics did in the past. But that's kind of true. I mean, we live kind of in very perilous times now with threat of nuclear war in Ukraine and all this kind of stuff, and COVID that we just got out of, and who knows, blah, blah, blah. Okay, as Catholics, how does our faith inform our response to disastrous situations? Okay, so you see, week of August 21st, I already talked about that. First class is introduction, then we have Antioch earthquake. That's Wednesday. First disaster we talk about is Antioch earthquake, and then what some historians have called the worst year to be alive, 536. Why do they say that? Okay, what's up with that? We'll find out. Second week already, 2 classes back to back on the Black Plague. So you'll see this class is very prejudiced towards modernity. We jump ahead already 800 years to the Black Plague of the mid-14th century. We keep jumping ahead. That online class on September 4th will be on 17th century famines, and then the Lisbon earthquake of 1755. In week 4, September 11th, we cover 1816, the year without a summer, and the cholera outbreak of 1852 to 1860. Already by the 5th week, September 18th, we're in modernity. We're in the 20th century with, respectively, the Galveston hurricane, Texas 1900, and the San Francisco earthquake of 1906. September 25th, week 6, Messina earthquake of 1908 / Great Idaho Fire of 1910. So week 6 will be the first time we kind of hit this area here. Week 6 is also our most famous. It's the first time we meet Brad Pitt. It's the first time the kind of star of the movie comes on stage. The sinking of the Titanic. Everyone has heard of Titanic, probably out their ears. God rest their souls. Not even with what happened this summer with Stockton Rush and the submersible and all that kind of stuff. Even if that didn't happen, the Titanic is insanely famous. Everyone has probably seen the Leo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet movie and all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about what were Catholic reactions to the sinking of the Titanic. What was that, first of all, beyond just that it hit the iceberg, etc. What did Catholics say? October 2nd, first time we do a little kind of double dipping. I did a previous class. In fact, one of my specialties as a historian is the First World War. We did a whole class on the First World War in here back in the fall of 2021, so 2 years ago. October 2nd, we do the week of October 2nd. So it's always the week of is those October 2nd and 4th, right? The Monday, Wednesday. 2 classes, a 2-part class, Great War and Spanish flu. As you all know, the Spanish flu happened right on the heels. So it's breaking out in mid-1918 before the First World War is even over. October 9th, tri-state tornado outbreak, another very famous American disaster, the Hindenburg, the crash of the blimp in New Jersey, 1936. October 16th, again, by this time, like these are all very close to our heart, famous. Everyone probably knows a little bit about these things. Dust Bowl, 1930s, and atomic bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. October 23rd, the 1968 flu epidemic. That one's a little like wrench in the Hindenburg Titanic bombs. Like maybe not a lot of you have heard of that, but the 68 flu epidemic, and then a very famous Pacific Northwest one, the second class of October 23rd, the eruption of Mount St. Helens, 1980. October 30th, heat waves in the US. We'll go all the way back, you see on the syllabus, to California, 1913, but we're talking about the 1980s in the USA, concrete jungle with a deep focus on the Chicago summer of 1995. October 30th, that week, second class, which already put us, I guess, it'll be All Saints Day, November 1st. The Great Flood of 1993 / a brief note on the Challenger disaster. A lot of you might remember that. Those students, right, people that went out into the shuttle that went into space that exploded. As well, yeah, sure, yeah, right. No, it's true. I mean, like I myself, well, I was born in 1987. So I mean, like I heard like September 11th, which I'll make that point in 3 seconds. Like November 6th, we do Chernobyl 2 parts, and then September 11th is the week of November 13th. I was a freshman in high school during 9/11. I remember that very, very well. A lot of students now who are freshmen in college who were born, it's crazy, like in 2004, 2003, it's before their lifetime. I remember 9/11 very, very well. And I was in Pennsylvania. So I mean, it was like all around us. Like the Shanksville crash was to the west of us, New York to the east. Then Betsy Johnson, we have our Thanksgiving holiday. So nothing for there. And our last 4 classes are as such. Hurricane Katrina, Catholicism in the COVID era, part 1. Then we slip over into week 2. Second week, Catholicism in the COVID era, part 2. And because it's super cool, a full and comprehensive review of all we have covered this semester is December 4th. Mary, let's see. It's a lot of stuff, but we'll cover it's gonna be very simple. It's fun. Like I've noticed that now, being the 9th time we've done this, that we get things covered very, very well. And again, this is the last nice compliments thought that I'll put out. But really, thanks to people like Ryan Alexander, Betsy Johnson, kind of old school people who've been here for a long time in our classes. Like you guys know, like the comments, they float themselves almost in a certain sense. So it's a lot, but we really do kind of get through, which is very, very nice. All right. Before I start, do we have any questions? Because by the way, we've covered, that's it. I mean, tell me your name. Tell me what's your favorite ice cream flavor? Or are you allergic to ice cream? If that's the case, I'm sorry, man.
My name's Turner, and I like cheap ice cream, so usually Walnut Rocky Road. That's about it there.
Are you offended though when you buy it and it says frozen dairy dessert?
No,
It's not actually ice cream. That's fine with you,
no, it's-
as long as it's like 79 cents.
yeah,
I'm
so-
offended when it says frozen non-dairy.
Ooh, brutal. I've never seen that. Is that a real thing?
Yes, there's lots of non-dairy things they claim are ice cream.
You guys are offended about ice cream. You know what I'm offended about?
If you search for vanilla orange ice cream in the Walmart app, you won't get it. You have to search for vanilla orange frozen dessert.
Let's see. What is an app? What is an app? What?
It is an application that you get.
Oh,
Your phone.
got it. Okay.
I have a question about the YouTube channel. Do I have to join YouTube?
No. No. So like,
You can watch it.
yeah, you can like and subscribe. I have 13 subscribers, which I heard is a lot. So I heard that's a lot.
Derogatory comments.
You should, yeah. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. You know what my favorite thing to do is? My favorite thing to do is to have fake accounts and get into a fight with myself and get if real people join in. Like I hated this author. He's the worst. How dare you? And then he watches come in. I know Reddit's like exactly like that. Exactly. I'm in the workings, Betsy. I can't really talk about it, but with a deal for Reddit to exclusively stream maple syrup history. They keep working out the last millions, in the signing bonus. The whole question's kind of hung up in legalistic stuff about subreddits. That's where we're pausing the negotiations right now. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Your name you said it was Turner?
Mhm.
Turner, it's a great name. Very nice to meet you. You need what? You need like 9 codes, a lot of codes. No, none. Absolutely not. No. So you can, no, so seriously, Meg, really good question. No, you don't need any codes. Like I can, if you send me a reminder, I will send you, I'll send you just the video, the link, and you can just watch it 100% for free. And I'm not even kidding, like I'm not a YouTuber. That's disgusting. Can someone please hit me if I ever like identify as a YouTuber? I'm not a YouTuber. It's like you do not have to like my video or track it or like anything. Like there's no code. Yeah. So it honestly is as simple as you want it to be. If you're asking, can I just like watch it normal with nothing? Yeah, like just that's right.
Is there a special channel?
Yeah, I have my own channel because I'm a YouTuber.
And
So
everybody's not taking notes now.
yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. If you remind me, and I get updated email
Because
addresses.
everybody in here signed up. So they have.
What you guys can do is, actually, can you start a piece of paper going around with your name and email address? And then I'll be able to put you on like a link.
Yeah, but you can still, I mean, if I would do the video, I'm gonna have. You just type it in.
Should I wear a suit every class? Or no? I'll probably stop carrying it at a certain point, Okay, so guys, we're done with today's class in terms of the business, really. Like we start next class, but I have a couple things for you, just give you kind of a taste. So I'm going to start with Catholic reactions to 9/11, most specifically this pastoral letter that was released. And Today, I don't want any kind of comments. I mean, whatever comments you want. Oh, it's class 100%, free speech, say whatever you want. What I'm saying is this is not the normal class. Normally I'll like pause. Hey, Mary, what did you think about this? Let's argue about it. We're going to assign the point system. I'm just giving you a taste of like this in a very small sample size is going to be the entire class. Once we get to 9/11, which is 2 weeks in November, I will talk about all of 9/11, like everything that happened, right? God rest their souls at 8:32 a.m., the North Tower, etc. We'll go over the whole. Today, we're just diving into the reactions, but just give you a small taste. And then I'm going to show you one of the coolest moments in sports history. Who knows who Mike Piazza is? Anyone know who Mike Piazza is? Wow, this is bad. This is really, really. I'm seriously considering.
Baseball player.
Yeah, we talked about last.
We talked about him last semester. You still don't know who he is. Betsy, is he a baseball player? Is the Pope Catholic? Is the what kind of is the questions in this class? Yes, Betsy. Yes, he's a baseball player. Yes. And he's a very, very good baseball player for the New York Mets. And he actually, I happen to love baseball. I'm obsessed with all sports. That's fine if you're not. I'm dead serious. Like I will always say when like all jokes aside, great. You don't like sports, cool. I mean, you're welcome in America to be a moron. It's fine, but it's your choice. But Mike Piazza, he was a very, very good. Exactly. He was a catcher for the New York Mets. And you'll see this video at the end. He is a Catholic too, by the way. He is a Catholic. And I actually think they're the most outspoken Catholic baseball player that I know of are two, like Mike Sweeney, Jeff Suppan. These guys, perhaps again, you probably never have heard of, but they were like they would go on like EWTN, Life on the Rock, very kind of like strong Catholics. Great example. I think Mike Sweeney even had a Catholic baseball camp. Piazza, I don't know how private or public his faith was. He is a Catholic though. So it's cool. He has a sports Catholic response to 9/11. He hit a home run against the Atlanta Braves in the first professional sports game after 9/11, 10 years later. And I'll show you two videos about that, how it helped like the city heal. And this poor woman, God rest her soul, whose husband I think, was a firefighter who died in one of the towers. Like she went to the game with her boys and they were just obviously crushed. God bless them. I can't even imagine the depth of sorrow and bewilderment. But like her boys were diehard Mets fan, that helped them feel better even for a moment, that kind of thing, the kind of classic sports stereotype, right? Sports give us a moment to take a break away from the serious stuff. So I'll finish the class, the Piazza stuff. But first, a pastoral message from the bishops. Here's what they said. Okay, I'm just going to read this. People don't like reading and listening. I don't know what to tell you. That's what I'm going to do.
Bishops or from the U.S. bishops or?
Yes, U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. But again, the composition of this conference is obviously much different than it is now. It's 22 years ago. This is November 14th, 2001. Okay, a pastoral message, living with faith and hope after September 11th. That's the name of it. Once more, once we get to the real format, last preamble, I will be pausing often. What do you think? Etc. So I do not want anyone to think like, if I'm just going to be reading for about 10 minutes or whatever, that's what the class is like. No. The class is going to be highly interactive. Turner, in fact, is going to have to every day give 5 comments that are good, or everyone fails. And just like there's bad consequences if he doesn't. So you guys have to be really, really involved. Just today, again, it's just showing you kind of the very basic outline sketch. Without further ado, you're probably saying to me already, will you shut up and get on with it? Okay. So, blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are they who are hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they'll be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the peacemakers, they will be called children of God. Of course, quoting the 5th chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel of Beatitudes. These words of Jesus challenge us and offer us hope today as our community of faith responds to the terrible events of September 11th and their aftermath. As Catholic bishops, we offer words of consolation, criteria for moral discernment, and a call to action and solidarity in these troubling and challenging times. Continue on, ellipsis, ... In these difficult days, our faith has lifted up and sustained us. Remember, this is a month after the events. Our nation turned to God in prayer and in faith with a new intensity. This was evident on cell phones, on hijacked airliners, on stairways and doomed towers, in cathedrals and parish churches, at ecumenical interfaith services in our homes and hearts. Our faith teaches us about good and evil, free will and responsibility. Jesus' life, teaching, death, and resurrection show us the meaning of love and justice in a broken world. Sacred scripture and traditional ethical principles define what it means to make peace. They provide moral guidance on how the world should respond justly to terrorism in order to establish peace and order. So they open up with this Beatitudes and then these are beautiful words. Gosh, if you're affected by this, despite sounding kind of very cliche and pro forma, and of course, cliches are cliches for a reason, right? You say them because there are the words to be perhaps heard at this moment, right? It's kind of very foundational, basic things. But then they go and they say like, okay, this terrorist situation calls us to look deeper, look into other things. And I don't want to cover them too specifically now because I don't want to spoil the pot, so to speak, come November. That's going to be our 9/11 week. They talk about things like confronting terrorism, which is obvious, right? And the Holy Father, John Paul II at that time, rightfully called these acts crimes against humanity. Terrorism is not a new problem, but this terrorist threat is unique because of its global dimensions. And how prescient was that with the global war on terror that falls? I mean, at this point, we're already involved in Afghanistan. We get involved in Afghanistan in October, right? This is I misspoke. See, this is 2 months. November is 2 months after the attacks. A month after the attacks, less than, I think October 7th, we get involved in Afghanistan, which didn't wrap up obviously till last year, maybe still, right? In some ways, Taliban back in power, sadly, and that's a question for another day. But I mean, okay, yeah, the kind of global war on terror and then Operation Iraqi Freedom and Saddam Hussein in 2003, that's all coming down the road. They say about the role of religion, kind of an obvious point, but, quote, it is wrong to use religion as a cover for political, economic, or ideological causes. It compounds the wrong when extremists of any religious tradition radically distort their professed faith in order to justify violence and hatred. Whatever the motivation, there can be no religious or moral justification for what happened on September 11th. Then they talk about, these are all subheadings within this letter. The duty to preserve the common good, protect the innocent, reestablish peace and order, pursuing justice and peace after September 11th. And within some of these things here, which again, forgive me, I'm being such a broken record, but perhaps it is helpful on the first day, like to really kind of just lay the groundwork. But I do apologize for retreading so much ground. We're going to look at this letter in much more depth come November. It's an important document. We'll also 10 other documents, but we'll kind of really go through it. But just know now, right away, the bishops are saying, okay, well, in response to this global threat and what might come next, and perhaps they're already seeing because of the declared intervention, maybe now as the Russians call, their invasion of Ukraine a special military operation, maybe even then Bush and Cheney are calling, we're just a special military operation, anti-terrorist thing in Afghanistan. It's maybe not the full-blown thing it will become. But the bishops are looking ahead and saying, while military action may be necessary, it is by no means sufficient to deal with this terrorist threat, right? And national leaders bear a heavy moral obligation to see the full range of nonviolent means is employed. Every military response must be in accord with sound moral principles, notably such norms of the just war tradition. Okay, I mean, so they right away, that's kind of the answer. Like, what do Catholics, the Catholic leadership in America, how do they root a response to 9/11? They root it, obviously, because it's an act of aggression in the just war theory, especially, as Augustine, Aquinas, people like that lay it out. A proper response, non-combat immunity, proportionality. That's the word I was looking for, proportionate response. Meg, if your tribe attacks my tribe, I can fight your tribe. I should nuke your tribe and all your family's tribe. That's not proportionate. It wouldn't be just, right? Right intention and also probability of success. Okay. In this pursuing justice and peace after 9/11, they say September 11th made ever more clear that globalization is a reality requiring greater moral scrutiny. Dang, I actually want to pause there. Wow, I couldn't freaking agree more. Not even about terrorism. Look at globalization now, like the global health crisis, COVID, all the conspiratorial people, like, about Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum and the Agenda 2030, like these questions of globalization and global surveillance and tech and whatever seems to be even more of a thing now. And it's good. Everyone should sign up for the World Economic Forum. They're amazing. They're evil. They're terrible. However you feel about them, that it's good or bad. Globalization is good and we should be more interconnected because we'll solve problems together. No, this is leading towards an antichrist, one world government kind of stuff. However you feel about it, I can't stress enough. I will never tell you how to think in this class. The only position I'll get behind ever is like, God help me, I'm a Catholic. But I don't care how liberal or conservative, whatever you are, say whatever you want. But it seems if you think it's good or bad, globalization seems to be really, big and important now. I'm doing a very global thing now, having a Zoom meeting, right? A Chinese company, on the interwebs that anyone can watch, right? Someone could be watching this in China. In fact, is now. Like it says Xi Jinping is watching this now. So he's watching it in China, in Beijing. This is funny. Last time I saw him, he was like this too. He has these funny pajamas. He's wearing them because it's late there. But he says he gets real craving for like peanut butter sandwiches at night when he watches this. He's watching it now.
I thought he had honey out of a jar.
He banned people who said that. He forbid people from saying that, including I started that meme, so I was banned from China. But yeah, right. We're using a global tool right now, right? What do you think? I want to take a little break and ask you a question. I said I wouldn't, but I lie all the time in this class. Do we have what do you think about globalization, just in general? Not even related to 9/11. What do you think, staying on theme of this class, a disaster has prompted this conversation? What do you think as Catholics about globalization? Thoughts? Any thoughts?
Well, we're the global church, so I think we believe in globalization. Catholicism should be first and primary of all ruling, moral and all actions. So yes, of course, as Catholics, I think we believe in globalization. I think the reality of life is that humans are tribal. And so while we can look at things in a global nature, it will always be me against you. It will
Let's see, time out. I'm not tribal. I just hate everyone who doesn't look like me. That doesn't make me tribal. You're right, exactly, right? Like,
So I think, you know, it doesn't matter how big our groups get, we tend to be tribal. It can be the United States against another country. It can be me against, I don't know, Betsy in some argument about whether we should hem our skirts. The human nature is we against something. So until aliens come and invade us, it will be we against some other human factors.
has anyone ever heard of Operation Bluebeam, the conspiracy? There is this Montreal guy, I'm dead serious, this guy who like, yeah, how do I put this? I don't know how to put this, but he was a guy, go ahead.
I think in humanity, it's always been, it is today, that someone wants to dominate another person. Some society, some nation, some country wants to dominate another person, another country, instead of serving one another.
Agree, I agree 100%. Like I agree 1000%. That's the whole like Nietzschean will to power. Nature is red in tooth and claw. But what do you do? Okay, what do you do about that? So I'll give you an example. Like, because I agree with you. You know, Christ talks about and praise God. Like that's not our first turn. That's our only. Like Christ is our only guide, the way, the truth, and life. Turn the other cheek. You know, be a servant leader, all this kind of stuff. What do you do in a world where it's like, okay, people just want to take and dominate? I don't know if I become president of the US, I go out and like, let's just love everyone. Like other guys are gonna be like, great, you guys have turned soft, we're gonna take you, we're gonna destroy you now, right? Like we're not gonna, like Pope Francis, I think recently talked about disarmament. This is a discussion for another time. In fact, our nuclear war week. But it's like, I'm a big believer in having like tons of nukes. I think nuclear war is very bad. But if we got rid of our nukes, we probably get nuked, right? So there's a much higher chance because people are bad. Original sin is real. People are corrupted. If they found out, oh, you don't have nukes anymore, okay, press every button, right? Because of no respect. Like, I kind of do believe in that deterrence theory of the 80s of like, if both sides have nukes, everyone's going to be cool, and that's why we didn't have a Cold War. So I'm asking you directly, Deacon, and anyone can jump in. So how do you change that though? Like people, you're right. Sin is real, and people in world affairs want to eat the smaller partner and dominate people. How can you change that? That seems to be an obvious fact. Is there a way to change it?
I don't know if it's in humanity's capability to change that. It's only through conversion, the
Right.
grace of God, that can be changed. We have this battle that's gone through eternity between good and evil. And it's not going to stop until the Lord comes back. But in our part, that's why we go to church. I mean, that's
Praise
why,
God, right? Yeah,
that's why Pope Pius said all things in Christ.
right.
So, I mean, we can do the best we can through our non-violent actions. We still have to defend ourselves, but we don't have to become the aggressors.
Right. And that's, well, yeah, then good. I mean, you're making both, like, you're making a very Augustinian, like city of God argument and city of man and the just war theory about not being. Go ahead.
I think globalization can help with that actually, and like can help channel some of the like the aggression into I guess more peaceful channels. Like there's that like trade, exactly, or like, yeah, just trying to outcompete each other economically rather than in terms of war. I think that it doesn't hold true anymore, but there used to be like the golden arches thesis, right, where like no two countries that both have McDonald's had ever gone to war. That changed obviously with Russia and Ukraine. Russia no longer has McDonald's, so it's true again, but for a while it wasn't true.
But it's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like capitalism gets a bad reputation these days, probably from especially from the left, but also from the right these days. But I feel like it is helpful to have a global economy where, you know, countries are more valuable to each other, alive than dead, right? And then the competition just becomes, you know, who can have more money rather than trying to kill each other.
Yeah, okay. You said decentralization, what do you mean?
Well, I think the first example of globalization is the Tower of Babel. It seems like God had a pretty simple solution to that, which was give people a bunch of different languages and cultures. And I think that seems true, is that if you think people are decentralized but animated by a common Catholic Christian spirit, then they won't tend to go to war with each other, and those who do go to war with each other will be small scale and not likely to result in giant conflagrations of World War I and World War II. And really, that those wars, the wars of the 20th century, were through nationalism and unification in the first place. I mean, honestly, we don't even want Italy. We need a bunch of different smaller states. The same thing with Germany. And
There's also the breaking up of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. There's also the breaking up.
that is true.
And Yugoslavia.
Yeah, national, well, that was later, but nationalism, yeah. Nationalism isn't just uniting, it's also, yeah, it's uniting.
Yeah,
I
So,
don't think it's just like domination. I'm sorry, Ryan. what are you
so look, I don't know. So like if the country's purpose is to dominate and it sees its purpose as the dominator, it's just gonna keep playing that theme until it needs a wall.
That is the purpose of having a government supposed to be to serve the common good rather than to dominate.
Yeah, but you know, the question is, what is the common good? Because different people have different opinions what the common good is.
that's absolutely, I think, indisputably true.
And it's probably easier to agree on the common good if your country is smaller. But if you're globalization.
But here's yes, but you're, I agree with you 100%, but here's a funny example. What is the common good of Moscow, Idaho? Between the super left people and the super right NSA people, and the Augustine Catholics who are just like, you know, whatever, like on the fringe, whatever,
So
in this very small town, right? Look how divided it is.
I notice, like, when I go to Seattle, I don't see all those rainbow flags that I see in Moscow. You don't see them in DC either.
Yeah, in Virginia, you don't see them at all.
Yeah.
The things are just-
Well, Virginia's a little.
Yeah.
Is, once you get out a ways in Virginia, it tends to be pretty.
No, but right in the suburbs along the southern.
So, yeah, but it's Seattle's not. You have everybody that you would have in Moscow in Seattle, but they're not fighting each other in the same way.
Okay, so are you saying maybe people, by the way, I was just in Springfield, Virginia recently. Sweet, legit.
Where's Springfield?
Where's Springfield? Ryan,
Massachusetts.
he's exactly right.
Missouri.
Springfield is so, it's about,
Where is Springfield?
yeah, it's about 20 miles, it's about 20 miles from the city, from downtown DC. Fairfax County,
That's near.
like 390. You don't know where are you not like you're from, are you from Virginia? You nodded in a way that was like, I'm from DC.
He does actually look like he could be.
I don't know, it's not my head.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, no, there's a thing called the Mixing Bowl, which is like one of the largest places where these like 5 interstates meet, 95, 495, 395. So if you're in downtown DC, if anyone knows what that means, what I'm saying is like that may geographically be whatever, but like from the center of DC, it's like 20 minutes to get to Springfield on 495. It's like Springfield's here, Alexandria, and above here, west of Washington DC. Northern Virginia, if you continue out past, if you're in West Springfield, you continue out an hour, you're in the Shenandoah Valley, like Interstate 81, whatever.
I spent 2 years in Christendom, so
Yeah, so Christendom, what city is Christendom in?
it's us in Front Royal.
So Front Royal is probably really close to West Springfield, probably like an hour. Winchester is close to Front Royal, right?
Winchester's
Yeah,
close.
right. So that's like an hour away then. Okay. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, in Seattle. So my question to you then be: do you think if I'm like super left wing in Seattle, I'm just like, it's Seattle, like everyone is, even though there's a lot of conservative pockets. I'm not so gonna like, overtly declare my left wingedness, where in Moscow, yeah, I want to fight these Idaho rednecks, but you think it's more like that, that's it? Like, okay.
I think that's it, so. If you're gay in Seattle, you don't feel.
Isn't that good? I just,
Like fly a flag, you may have a sticker on your car or something, but most gay people, the gay members of their families are not flying flags in Seattle.
right, okay.
But I think it doesn't only go to size, I think it goes from homogeneity.
Yeah, there's a certain type of leftism that only comes up in like the whitest of white communities. It's true.
That's fair, yeah, no, it's just,
It's easier to find the.
and that, yeah, that's true.
In Norway than it is to find the comic
Yes.
of the United States,
Mhm.
because they're all vested in oil, they were all vested in not being.
And they're all
Norwegian,
yeah.
They're all Norwegian, so it's this. I think homogeneity plays a
Yeah.
greater role than size.
Yeah.
I kind of tried to learn Norwegian once and just no.
It's like German.
I decided it wasn't worth it. It was like a grosser version of German.
Yeah.
Like German is cool, but
You speak German, right?
I don't. I really don't. No. Like on a scale of 0 to 10, like 0.1. I know like 2 German words. No, I do not speak German. But more than Norwegian,
Yeah.
I don't even want to know a Norwegian word.
Tak, thank you,
Does it really?
yes, that's it, tak, it's my Norwegian.
How would you reconcile, subsidiarity with globalization?
I think Ryan Alexander kind of got at it like he always does, which is awesome. Mad props to him.
Yeah.
What he said, so he's like the bad globalization when I was from him, like, right, the 11th chapter of Genesis, Tower of Babel, right away, epic fail, bad globalization, usurping God's power, that's bad. What he said was like local communities, just localism in general, which is subsidiarity with the solidarity of the faith, not the solidarity global sticking point of EU or whatever, NATO, anything. But I think that's would be my answer. The balance of subsidiarity and solidarity would be in the Catholic understanding, as I understand it, of these two great principles of our social teaching, is that subsidiarity should be political and cultural, things that are kind of not church. Like Moscow, Idaho is subsidiarious, the Catholics there, by being ingratiating to the Palouse and like doing the thing. But the connective thread is that they have the same mass that they do in Bangladesh and in Italy. The faith is the larger connective thread. So the Norwegian point that all of us are Norwegians and speak Norwegian and are, anti-Europe in a certain sense, of this kind of island personality almost. Like our connective thread is in the Holy Catholic faith, the sacraments. But a Catholic, while a Catholic on the Palouse versus Springfield, Virginia, should have the exact same faith and beliefs, subsidiarity of being a Northern Virginian versus Northern Idaho are completely different. And that's how it's reconciled. Local culture and politics are diverse and different. The connective point is the larger kind of theological questions, I would say. But I don't know. What do you think? What's your rejoinder to that?
I'm not sure that I have a rejoinder. So Brian, if you had all these city states, what I have all these city states in Italy, would you expect more wars, but smaller? And would that be a good thing that they were smaller?
I don't know if you'd expect more wars or not, the wars you would see would be smaller.
Collectively, would they be that? Yeah,
Well, at
every
least,
city state.
You could have a CC attacking Padua again, which is sweet.
I mean, yeah,
but if you combine your city states with a global economy, it would be so easy to starve other city states out.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's not.
and that's actually another good question. I kind of assumed that everyone assumed that is war bad, right? I assumed that in what I was saying,
Well,
but is that necessarily actually true?
that is
Or is there actually some good to war?
Yeah, that's a question. Yeah,
It forces you to be more virtuous.
right.
that was just something that I was thinking of as well, was that in part, yeah, it's like if everyone in the city state is expected all to be able and willing to participate when it comes to national defense, then people in general should be more virtuous. And then when it comes to food supplies, globalization causes the same problem. There are many countries that.
Not really, no.
Well, there are many countries that. Their food supply is just literally money being thrown at them, food being shipped to them.
Yeah,
And that's a problem.
but beforehand, they couldn't not even just those kind of countries, but even Europe, like could barely produce enough food to feed itself, and now there's like way more than enough, and even in Africa, there's very few people are starving, maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, yes, but very few people.
And
Then
then
except in like the worst of the worst countries.
second, as COVID demonstrated with supply chains, like weakening your supply chains is. It's a lot, it's what it is, building a tower with just too many, a big weak point. You know, all of it, if so much of your food production is. Like, let's say, well, food is produces a lot of wheat, right? But the flour, is the flour produced here?
Globalization though isn't just like importing food from one place to another, it's also the fact that you can grow, you have the technology to grow food from all over in one place, right? Like, you know,
That's
there wasn't corn or like potato in Europe,
Right,
or the discovery of America.
but I wouldn't say that's globalization per se, that's saying that's localism, that you're growing a crop or a new.
Right, but it comes through like through contact.
Yeah, but that's good, that's trade, it's not seeing things.
Because globalization would be having the police, growing all the wheat for most of the world and, you know.
I think there's just different models, but-
It's not necessarily the opposite, it's sharing of technology. Sharing of technology, we'd all agree is globalization, just because it's agricultural technology doesn't.
No, I disagree, I don't think that's cool.
Well, it's not the globalization of government, but it's economic globalization.
The projection of technology, say having all your computer chips for the world being, or most of them being produced one place.
That's not
And-
capitalist globalization, though, that's more like Soviet globalization.
But if it happens through a capitalist system, then it would be,
But it's not happening.
So like most of my,
most, no.
Okay, so wait, let's pause there. Let's pause at these loggerheads. This is great. I'm saying this is awesome. Mary,
Very had to go.
yeah, exactly. No, but she had the syllabus. I'm so glad she came.
But
No. I was just gonna like you are so kind and generous. I was just gonna make a nonsense like point of like, oh, she took the syllabus, she's gone. I can't look at the syllabus, but I don't need to look at the syllabus because I'm that intelligent, so I don't need syllabi. The point I was gonna make was, you can see on the first class, all we were supposed to cover today was, in fact, let me do my kind of like goodbyes now, even though we have like probably 10 minutes left. I still have some more stuff to show you, but just to recap, especially for people watching online later. Like you said, Sam and Cecily, I'm definitely said they were the stars of this thing. They're definitely get this video sent to them. All we were supposed to cover today, as you all saw, was just the syllabus. We did that. Look how awesome you guys are. Permit me to say that. I'm being dead serious. I love to joke. I love to be sarcastic. You guys I have the highest respect for all of your intelligence. This is great. The first day of class, we haven't even gotten into anything. We have such great comments, points, arguments. This is fantastic. This is what I like my dream for the whole semester, is that as we go through these things, I will introduce the topic, and then it'll be kind of just me, professoring, just talking about it. But as I go through the reactions, we're gonna have these hot debates. That still was not resolved. It's awesome. It's great. I love that. And again, I'm telling you, I promise just to be a neutral referee. Like, I'll tell you what I think, but it's very fun for me to sit back and like bask in your intelligence and your comments. Thank you for that. So that was great. I'm just over the moon that wasn't even necessary today. They would just show up and hello, whatever. Like, this is great. This is going to bode well for semester. On that point, go out and recruit people. I want you guys to be politicians, see liars. Just tell them that like the class, I hand out money or something. I don't know. Tell them like, yeah, just be like, you do not believe he gave me $200. That'd be so funny. I'd love to like shame those people. Like, how dare you? Like when they come in and they ask for their money, right? And I'm like, there's no money in this class. And they get mad at me for false advertising. I'm like, how dare you have such little respect for your own learning? You only came here to get money. That's disgusting. Like, you're the bad guy, not me. Yeah, and by the way, you owe me money now. That's what I'd say. And I have like a lawyer come out at that time, and like he's like he has the paper signed. No, get people to come. Guys, I have like two things to say about this.
there's no seating for.
Marie, I would love to have that problem. My most populated class ever, and you all might have been here for this. My most populated class ever there was a time in the semester I was in the Civil War class where we had 3 or 4 classes of like 26 people. It was glorious. And yeah, and it was, but see, I already feel like so blessed. Like most Catholic centers in America don't even have an intellect department, and they have like one person show up maybe. So like, this is great. 9 people for the first class. It's fantastic. Again, all jokes aside, I would love to have a seating problem. I would love to have some people that, oh, we have to, that'd be fine. Then what we do is we'd even like, it'd be hilarious to have like a wraparound class where people are in there and here and streamed. It would be fun to get creative. It would be fun, but invite people to come.
I take credit for bringing Mary in today.
Good,
She wasn't
awesome.
gonna come.
That's great. I'm glad. I'm glad. No, I'm glad she came. I'm glad she came. Absolutely. You have 6 points now.
And me, of course, brought me.
There you go. So you have 3.
You wouldn't really learn.
You have 9. Exactly. You have 9 and 3. It's double brain. And Ryan Alexander has 1,000 points. So he's in first place.
I know
The points, you're minus 600. Exactly. The points start next week.
Yeah, parking app, so if you come to this class, before class, can I have 2 points for that?
I don't believe in apps, so you lose more points.
Ross waiting for the Mike Piazza story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna close with. Like normally the class, as you can see, and Turner, maybe you don't know. Also, thank you for being here. It's awesome. I hope you're here the whole semester if you can. The class goes from 12:07 to 1:37. It's an hour and a half technically. It's 1:07. We'll be done at 1:12 today. I mean, like, I'm gonna say this piece now and be done. The Mike Piazza thing, it's like 5 minutes, 2 videos, 5 minutes total. We'll finish with. But I would just say no, like 2 things. Like invite people to come. It doesn't matter to me, like in a ego level. It doesn't it's like the Julia Roberts thing about being paid on commission. I don't get more money if people come. It's not it would just be fun. I would love to have, and this does sound cheesy now, but like this vibrant intellectual community. I would like that. I would like people who could actually, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to have instead of you just arguing like 9 more people and people on the wall. It'd be fun to have that. So invite people to come. I don't know what to tell them to come. You and I were talking about this for the class. Like I have people who are, I can honestly almost say, like dedicated fans of my Hippo lecture. They've come to everyone and they come no matter what. Some people, I beg them to come, they still don't come. They'll tell me in my face, I'm going to come, you're awesome, they don't come. So like, I don't know, I can't, it doesn't, I'm not trying to like put stuff on you, but like, it doesn't matter how many videos I make. It doesn't matter that I'm a male model. Like none of these things matter.
You're a professional baseball.
That also doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I know. My grandmother of happy memory, God rest her soul, she would cry to me and say, like, she's like, girls will never want to date you. She's like, when they find out you have mismatching socks, and boy, she was wrong. Let me tell you, I do have mismatching. Yeah, but you know what? Women love this, especially my wife. That's how my wife only went on the first date with me because of mismatching socks. Yeah.
They are really mismatched.
Yeah. But so no, but okay, they are the same color. Yes. Betsy, you got me a pair of matching socks, the William Buckley ones. I wear them still kind of like regularly, like once a month, maybe. Like really, they're in my rotation. Invite people to come just because, again, I swear, like it would just be fun to have people here. Like that's it. That's the only reason. But also, there's a welcome barbecue on Wednesday, which I'll do a pitch there too. Tell people as well with the syllabus, like if you guys, I'm not going to be offended if like 40 people came for the Titanic and no one came for the Spanish flu. Like people shouldn't come for me or you. Like it's not us. Like it is the topics. So I'd be over the moon if all semester, God willing, we had this contingent, maybe like 10 people, but for like Titanic and 9/11 and Chernobyl, we had 30 people. Great. I mean, there's no, as I was telling Mary and all of you know, there's no grades in this class. There's no attendance. It's come whenever you want. In fact, every class is like a lecture, just a discussion. It's like a podcast episode. So it's like, yeah, tell people as well too, like, oh, you got to come for the Hindenburg. Actually tell them to come for like, you got to be like, you got to come for this is so exciting and have them come for the most boring. And like, see, that's what you get. That's what you get for only caring about picking the choicest fruit. Have them come for like 17th century famine. The plague is next week. That starts next week. Yeah. Okay. So Mike Piazza here, I'm just going to share my screen and show you guys this again. I don't know what to say about this, except it's the first I'll show you the home run and the other video kind of talks about it. It's kind of self-explanatory. Let me just share my screen. And that's what we're going to close on.
Yeah, so can I say the thing that I thought was very heroic at 9/11?
Yeah.
I thought.
See you, Ryan.
Don Rumsfeld ran into the Pentagon to pull people out.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
He
Really?
was one of the protected people to be gotten out.
Really? He didn't have to be there.
Was very heroic.
That's cool. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Amen. And thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. I mean, like, it's amazing. Like, we don't know 99% of most stories, right? I never had heard that. That's awesome. That makes me think higher of him.
Yes.
If I had the high, whatever your opinion of him is, it's like, that's a great thing, yeah.
Like, that moment,
Right.
He was heroic.
Right. Okay, so this is just the call of the home run, but then the other video kind of just explains more of it. But again, this is September 21st. The title is Mike Piazza's post 9/11 home run helps New York heal. Rita, can you go on?
You have to move to this side.
I will, of course. Yeah, I'm directly blocking you now, exactly. But just it's the first sporting event in New York. And again, I love sports. If you hate sports, I sincerely respect that. It's fine. It is a cool moment, like all New Yorkers could be kind of back together, whatever. Anyway, so without further ado.
Okay, wants it away. This one has a chance. Take a look at this. He's got as much power as anybody who got the arms extended. A long home run. And a curtain call.
Never watched that.
The next time you came up.
You get- That's right.
In cricket, you don't have to, if you hit the ball far enough, you don't have to run it out, they just give you the.
Oh, like, is that, you could do that for like,
Light up a cigarette.
your screen sharing. Okay, so actually wait, is this it? No, why is this doing this? Oh man, come on. It's the wrong one. Okay, so the last one, this one's 4 minutes long. And like I said, we'll finish way ahead of time today. This one more kind of better explained. I want just to show you the actual home run. This one just actually barely shows that.
At Jersey Mike's, they freshly
Um,
slice your sub right in front of you. Would take some training.
I don't want to watch the video, but something I don't want to watch.
Slice right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's selling.
Exactly. Well put. Okay, here it is. It's the last video I have for you. This just obviously goes into better detail, like of the context of the whole thing.
The Mets were on the road on September 11th, 2001. But when they returned home and after baseball paused its schedule for 10 days, they became the first sports team to play in New York since the terrorist attacks.
I can't describe that week, and I can't describe what it was like to come back and play because I don't remember any of it in a way.
It was a Friday, and the Mets were playing the Braves in the midst of a pennant race. The night would be unlike any other the players and their fans ever experienced.
A day I will never, ever forget. It was a decision, should we go, shouldn't we go? We were terrified because here it is a ball field and with terrorism and stuff. And we decided as a family that there was someplace their father, my husband would want us to be, to try to at least enjoy yourself, would be Shea Stadium.
It wasn't a competition against our most hated rivals. It was so much bigger than anything I had ever been part of before that it was just inevitable that something really special was happening.
The minute I heard the bagpipes, I lost it, And I remember looking up and praying to God, saying, Lord, please give me the strength to get through this because I don't know if I can.
I never thought I'd see my boys happy again. It was very solemn at that point to me. Everything hurt.
I think the baseball part became secondary until we started getting deeper into the game.
The Mets were trailing 2-1 in the bottom of the eighth when Mike Piazza came to the plate with a chance to put New York ahead.
And here's the man the Mets want up in this spot, down a run late in the game.
The next thing you know, here comes Piazza to the plate. And the energy level of the stadium, I'm not getting goosebumps talking about it right now, but the energy level of the stadium starts to go and everybody's like, oh, wait a minute. Like, listen, wait, could this possibly happen right now?
Met fans are getting into it now. You can hear the Let's Go Met cry.
It's amazing when you're in the right place at the right time and you believe in yourself and you have a lot of people pulling for you, you feel it.
And the pitch.
When he hit that ball, you heard the crack of it.
And it's hit deep to left center. Henry Jones on the run. This one has a chance.
The place just absolutely erupted. My children, for the first time in 10 days, which I thought would never happen, were cheering and smiling and happy. And it was just I'm getting the chills now just thinking of it.
It was just this incredible release of emotion. And I think, it became evidently clear that people just wanted to cheer about, something.
I could never thank him enough for putting the smiles on my children's faces. They saw they could enjoy a baseball game without their father, which I'm sure they probably thought they would never. And making me as a mom realize that, you know what, the kid's got a shot at this. They're gonna be okay.
I gotta be honest with you. I truly feel uncomfortable when people say, you're a hero, that home run. And I have to disavow myself from that. I don't feel like I was a hero. I really don't.
Daddy said, I just do my job. I said, Michael, gosh, you can't imagine what that home run meant to the country. I mean, it united everybody. Those firefighters, smiling because of the baseball game. You were uniformed firefighters who probably lost friends, God forbid, even family. And yet, because Mike Piazza hit a home run, that's something to actually smile about. K-Stadium has something to smile about. The Mets have won on a 2-run homer by Mike Piazza.
In the record books, it was just another game in September, but in every other way, it was the biggest and most meaningful moment of Mike Piazza's career.
Okay, so it's a good place to end on because it's like, again, Piazza, I mean, that would have been like awesome no matter what, but Piazza is a Catholic, like I said. And 9/11, one of the worst disasters in our nation's history. It's a good, again, such a awful moment, but a great place to kind of start the class of like the nuts and bolts of what we'll do in a very miniature way. Like going forward, it's going to be much more expanded. Especially you talk about the Black Plague, which is really kind of our first big opening. This was just hello syllabus, the Antioch earthquake, and next week there are lesser known things, lesser stuff, kind of like a plane taking off, just getting started with the class, but really started with the Black Plague. That's it. That is the whole class, especially too, again, you don't have to be my hype man for the class, but if you sell it to people, it's like, that is the simple explanation. Like, we cover a disaster, talk about what happened, and then Catholic responses to it. And for 9/11, we won't necessarily go back to Piazza again in the sports world, but we'll really dive deep into, come November, the pastoral letter, breaking it further apart and what like other Catholics said. And there's a lot of, as is so dubbed, this happened yesterday, 22 years ago. So there's a lot of information we're trying to do. So, God bless you until then, till Wednesday. Really good to be back with you. It's funny because like I've been in this chair forever, I feel like. So it's like it's the first time in 3 months, I feel like I haven't left. Like we didn't take a break from April in a very, very good way. I think it's good to be back. So see you on Wednesday. Everyone listening online, especially Pope Francis, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.